we talk to ourselves in horrible ways. We say things to ourselves that we would never ever let another stranger say to us. Imagine if we were walking down the street and somebody said to you, "You're not good enough. You look like a failure. You look like an intruder. You don't look qualified. You aren't perfect," right? You'd be like, "Screw you, buddy," and you'd probably lose your shit. So the real question is, why do we talk to ourselves like this? Right? Now, what makes me bring this up is I have clients, and I've had clients in the past, where I'll ask them to go out to speak to maybe like a particular group of people, or to, get in touch with their like niche, or like to reach out to this particular person. And suddenly these barriers start rising and all these limiting beliefs come bubbling up, in the sense of, I'm not good enough, I have to be perfect, I don't want to message this person right now because I feel like the timing isn't right. And I completely get it. I remember that I used to actually, I used to take about an hour to send a single email when I first started in like business, and I used to like read it through 10 times and change like the text a little bit about, just to basically ensure that like when this email landed with the person, like they liked it. And I was so like self-conscious of like not being perfect that I've basically hardly took any action at all. And if you wouldn't let somebody else talk to you like these phrases on the board, then why do you talk to yourself like this? If you're starting your business and you know you need to reach out to like maybe competitors, or maybe like your network, or maybe your ideal clients, or like potential partners and things like this, and you've got these limiting beliefs flying around your head and you're listening to them, right? You are severely handicapping yourself. And when you do actually speak to these people, they'll be able to pick up these behaviors that, your self-esteem is through the floor. And they'll kind of respond in kind to that. And that's like kind of one of the harsh things I've learned about business. But what I would say is, when you're doing these very difficult tasks which keep your business running day to day, then don't take it so seriously, right? Go into it looking like, with the attitude of, I want to just make friends today with 10, 15 different people. I want to meet 10, 15 different interesting connections and genuinely find out what's important to them, what it is they do, because I'm genuinely interested in it. And when you come in from this angle, people are more like keen to chat to you. And not only this, you're more like an attractive person, because people actually were like, this seems like a pretty cool, person, and I want to actually, potentially find out what it is they do. So that's like tip number one for this, is basically change your attitude when you're approaching these uncomfortable tasks, and stop with these limiting beliefs. And then what happens, this weird thing happens after you get over the boundary of doing these quite difficult, overcoming these difficult barriers here. Something happens in your brain, like a switch gets flicked, and basically things start to reframe themselves into completely different thoughts. Like they'll suddenly go positive, these thoughts. All right. And basically, over time, your beliefs will start to reframe themselves into positive beliefs, and they almost do it automatically, because you're taking the desired actions that help you sort of become the person that is capable of doing these actions. So for instance, now, like I remember I said before about like how I used to, be like sort of scrutinizing my own email, like taking an hour to send it and not really taking much action throughout the day because I was just worried about how it was going to land. Now, like I'll send a message to someone, or like I'll be increasing the size of my network, and I'll be sort of networking with people. I hope somebody's rude to me on the first message. I hope somebody blows me out the water, and like it very rarely happens. It happens maybe one every sort of 5,000 conversations you have, right? One person will just not be having a good day and they'll blow you out of the water. And when that happens, I hope they do that, because I'm like, okay, toodle do, I'm going to go and speak to somebody else who's actually a nicer person than you, right? So I hope that they kind of take themselves out of the pool by doing things like that. And that's like a weird positive mindset shift that has happened as a consequence of doing tough, uncomfortable, repeated actions daily. And you can get to a stage like this just by doing the tough actions and handling the tough actions by looking at it like it's a non-serious thing. Like, but if we think of like dating, nobody wants to date the person who's extremely serious all the time, right? You want to date the person who's like, the more like sort of, they've got a bit of playful nature to them, the more sort of friendly and things like this, more approachable, right? Take yourself like that. Picture you as like, I want to be dating this person who is the friendly person. That's what would make me approachable. And then you kind of switch the sides and you're like, right, so when I'm networking for my business and when I'm building up my relationships and building up my connections, I need to be kind of in this like sort of, more of a non-serious mood as well. When I send messages to people, I'm not like, hey, let me increase your conversions by 300%. I'm like, nah, how's it going? How's it going, man? Like, you look like you've got some really cool things going on, and I'll actually like have a look through their stuff, like very, very, relationship based. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I hope like you can see the point that I'm coming from here and see like the subtle mindset shifts which happen when you conquer your uncomfortable feelings. Okay, have a great day. Let me know in the comments what you think as well.